So when people hear that I live in the Gambia and I run a seven-figure coaching business, they think Bali. They think I'm laying on the beach, hanging out all day long, which I do. But I'm here to give you the full picture, give you the tea, or what it really takes to build a successful business while living in Gambia. Let's start by talking about the infrastructure. Let's talk about electricity and how when I first got here, it aged me by many, many, many years, okay? Because I could not understand that I couldn't predict what will happen with the electricity. And my business is 100% online. Everything we do requires electricity and a stable Wi-Fi connection. And when I first moved, I was shocked, and I shouldn't have. I like to always preface these YouTube videos by saying that I am originally from Cameroon. And so I grew up from birth to 16 living on the continent. So I know that power goes out and all the things, but I've not been an adult living on the continent. And so the first time that I realized we're not in Kansas no more, we're not in Dallas no more, we are somewhere else, was I was in the middle of a webinar as a training that I was doing for people on my email list. And we had almost 100 people in this webinar. And the power went out in the middle of the webinar, and I thought I was going down. I freaked out. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I didn't know what to do. Good news is power came back 5 minutes later, and people hung out and stayed, and I learned a powerful lesson, which is life goes on. It's going to be all right. I'm not a surgeon. I'm not a doctor. This is not a hospital. And I had to really realize, Sandra, as important as you believe your work is, which I believe it is, right? Changing lives, helping women, being able to build these powerful businesses, it's going to be all right if your internet goes out. They're going to wait. It's going to be all right, or they're going to leave. And either way, you're going to be okay. So learning that was, I say this 4 years later, having learned that you can only control so much. And what you can control, you just have to release and do your best. So some tactical things in case you are thinking about moving back to the motherland and you want to be prepared, because maybe you're working a job and you can't just be like, they're going to wait or not. There's some things that we've now done that have been very helpful. And I'm thinking to myself, wouldn't it be funny if power goes out as I'm saying all these things right now so that you can see it in real life, real action. But a few things. Having a generator has been really, really helpful. But the only thing with a generator is that it's super loud, so you can get an inverter instead. And also, the generator that we have doesn't automatically comes on. And so there will be a few minutes where you have to go turn on the generator and make sure you always have fuel in the generator, and then come back on, right? This other thing that we've done that has been really helpful is we have these portable batteries that hold charge for about 8 hours. And so our Wi-Fi doesn't go out even if power goes out, which is just fine, because that really means that the only thing that will happen is my ring light might go off, but I still can run my meetings and all that good stuff without any interruption, as long as my laptop is fully charged. By the way, I've killed my battery because I'm now paranoid that I won't have a full charge when I need to have a full charge. And so I've needed another laptop because bad habits. So there are things that you can do, absolutely, that my kids have implemented. Like I said, like having your device being fully charged, having a backup source of power. Some people have solar, that you can work around the challenges. Getting multiple Wi-Fi providers. I think we have 3 or 4 Wi-Fi providers, so that if one doesn't work, you get a backup of a backup of a backup. I've learned to have backups. Part 2 is behind the scenes. I still very much train a team, have clients, wrote books. I'm a speaker. And all the things that I was doing while I was in the United States still need to happen while dealing with different time zones. And I think that was one of the things that we had to work out really quickly, is figuring out how we're going to deal with the different time zones for our clients. And so what we do in our company, because my clients are in a different time zone, and the United States has 3 or 4 time zones within the country. So we pick one time zone, which is Central Time. So we work in Central Time. My laptop shows 9:45 a.m., although it's 2:45 p.m. where I am. But we only speak in time zone, whether we are having internal meetings or not. We say them in Central Time Zone to just keep everybody aligned, because a lot of my team is in Nigeria. They have a different time than I do here in Gambia. And so we couldn't even deal with all the different time zones. And so having strategies like that have been important and critical. Things like making sure we don't send a message to a client at 10 a.m. Nigerian time when it's like 2, 3 in the morning in the US. So learning all of that and the nuances have been really incredible. The third thing is also cultural differences. I could write a whole book. So having the majority of my team being in Nigeria, one of the things that we've had to work through, this is a funny example, there's been many, but this is a funny example, where in Nigeria, calling somebody ma, M-A, is a form of respect. We have a client that we support, and my team basically plays the role of her customer service. And so when they will finish and say, good morning, ma, or thank you, ma, they didn't think that was funny. They didn't see it as respect. They felt like you're calling me old. And so figuring out just the different nuances and teaching them and working with a global mindset, super rewarding. The person that I was before I moved and the person that I am here now is so much richer, so much more elevated, if I may say so myself, because of all the things that I've had to navigate, that I get to navigate in order for me to be able to do what we do. The last infrastructural thing that I want to talk about is just what it requires and what it takes to produce content and even communicate within teams. So just to give you some ideas, this video right now is recorded on a tool called Descript. We also use Riverside because it's a web-based tool. If we didn't have that, that alone is saving my team and myself probably 10 hours. Because if I had to record it on my laptop, then upload it to my Google Drive, then have my team download it to their laptop, edit it, upload it again for me to give feedback, and then they download it again. When I'm in the US, these things can happen in 2 minutes, right? Where I am, that's hours. You're talking probably 24 hours, 30 hours of wasted time downloading and uploading because the internet speed is so much slower. So finding smart ways, like using tools that allow us to communicate, where I can see what they are editing in real time and be able to provide feedback without ever needing to upload and download anything, took some time, but I think that we manage it pretty well. The final thing that I want to talk about is my day-to-day life, right? Because I'm not always working. What I love so much for myself that I've gained is just seeing my kids playing outside, having my son going to the mall and coming back late and not being worried, having the childhood I had. I don't know if my dad ever worried about me getting kidnapped. If he did, he didn't say anything. We were always outside. We were always at a friend's house. And being able to have my kids walk around and not question or think about their race because they are among people that just look like them, and that's not a thing and it's not questioned, and they can just see themselves in everybody that they see, has been really amazing for me. Like, it's been such a pleasure to see them thrive and learn different culture, and my oldest learning Wolof and making lifelong friendship. Having such a blessing has allowed me to homeschool, which also has been incredible, and finding resources and tools and things and getting them into boxing and them riding horses on the beach and all the different things. I'm like, I want your childhood because it's been such a change for them to be able to just learn this side of themselves. And so I want you to know that you don't need a big city to build a big business. No matter where you are, you can make it work and make it happen, no matter what. There are amazing people, talents, businesses happening right now on the continent. It is bustling. It is incredible. It's like you can feel it in the air, and to be here to see it and experience it is such an incredible journey. So if you're watching this and you're waiting for the perfect moment to build, start with what you have. Start with where you are. I always remember that my father used to say, there is somebody somewhere that has it worse off than you. I don't care what's going on in your life. There is somebody that has it worse off than you. And I'm looking at your life and using that as a prayer point and saying, if I could just have the life that you have, no matter what's going on in your personal life, there is somebody that's looking up to you. So if you are feeling the nudge to start a business, to do something more, to be something, I want you to know that I absolutely believe in you 100%. And I know that if you have that dream inside of you, it's because you are called to do that thing. So go out there and do your thing. If you like this type of video, make sure you comment, subscribe, and all the things, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.